Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a truly fascinating journey right into the invisible future of travel and security. We're going to start by looking at these massive macro trends shaping our global airports. Then we'll zoom all the way down into the microscopic physics of security screening. And finally, zoom right back out to see how this very tech is driving a booming global economy. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. We are facing a pretty staggering logistical question. By the year 2047, global air travel is projected to hit an unbelievable 18.9 billion passengers. Just think about the sheer scale of human movement that represents. It's mind-boggling. How on earth do we move that many people across borders safely without just bringing the entire global infrastructure to a grinding halt? Well, the answer lies in a completely transformed airport ecosystem, and it's actually taking shape as early as 2026. I mean, think about your typical airport experience today, right? The stress of long lines, constantly shuffling your documents, all those bottleneck delays. Now picture your journey just a few years from now. You arrive at an airport powered entirely by its own decarbonized solar microgrids. As you walk through the terminal, you're not fumbling for a boarding pass or physical passport. Instead, digital biometric IDs use facial recognition to seamlessly guide you through. And high above, AI-driven air traffic systems are preventing delays before they even happen. It's a completely connected, sustainable, and totally seamless future. But to actually achieve that fully connected future, we've got to eliminate the biggest bottleneck of all, checkpoint friction. With that kind of sheer human movement, slowing down for physical checks is literally the enemy of travel. According to CETA's insights, nearly 50% of airports plan to implement biometric identity management systems by the end of 2026, but a frictionless digital ID is only half the battle, right? You still have to physically screen every single one of those billions of passengers for hidden threats. We need seamless, risk-based security. We need a way to look right through luggage and clothing, instantly, without breaking your stride. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the scan you're seeing right now. This is definitely not your standard X-ray. It's actually a terahertz scan revealing a hidden key right through an opaque material. This invisible world of terahertz technology is exactly how we solve that physical security bottleneck. It lets us see the unseen, and it does it safely and instantly. So to understand how this actually works, we need to zoom in to the micro level. Terahertz and millimeter waves are high-frequency electromagnetic radiation. They sit right between microwaves and infrared light on the spectrum, specifically ranging from 30 gigahertz up to 10 terahertz. Their real superpower is that they're capable of penetrating clothing, paper, and plastic to reveal what's underneath. But crucially, they do all of this without using any ionizing radiation. Think about Superman for a second. He's got X-ray vision, which is obviously great for seeing enemies through walls. But the reality of X-rays is that they are highly destructive to living tissue. In the real world, while we definitely want the superpower to see through matter, we absolutely need a non-invasive, completely safe alternative. We can't just blast billions of frequent flyers with harmful radiation year after year. Terahertz technology basically gives us that Superman vision, but safely. Let's go ahead and put these two technologies head-to-head. With X-rays, you're dealing with ionizing radiation. What that means is X-ray photons have enough energy to actually knock particles out of atoms and severely damage human DNA. That is exactly why your dentist puts that heavy lead apron on you before taking an image of your teeth. Terahertz waves, on the other hand, are non-ionizing. Their energy is incredibly weak, like just a few millielectron volts. They are completely safe and perfectly benign to the human body. And this brilliantly illustrates why X-rays are being aggressively pushed out of passenger screening. Because X-rays can cause direct cellular damage, there is simply no safe threshold for exposure. Every little bit counts. In fact, due to these exact radiation protection concerns, the use of X-ray technology for full body scanners was explicitly rejected by the EU Commission. The biological risks are just way too high, especially when alternative, non-ionizing methods already exist. It really all comes down to the physics of material penetration. Terahertz waves easily pass straight through non-conductive materials, things like clothing, paper, plastic, and wood. But they behave very differently when they hit metal or water. Metal is highly reflective to these waves, and water strongly absorbs them. Remember that hidden key we saw clearly just a few moments ago? Well, because the human body is mostly water, it naturally absorbs and blocks these waves, while a metal key perfectly reflects them. This physics creates a brilliant, high-contrast image of a hidden metallic threat directly against a human body. So now that we know the physics, how do we actually build the machines? Well, there are two main approaches: active scanners and passive scanners. Active scanners act a bit like short-range radar. They emit low-level artificial terahertz radiation and then read the waves that bounce back. We call that the backscatter. Passive scanners, however, are incredibly stealthy. They emit absolutely nothing. Instead, they operate kind of like a highly sensitive camera that only detects the natural terahertz radiation that your body is already giving off on its own.
While tests consistently show that active systems are safe and fall well below any exposure limits, public perception and ultimate safety are paramount. Just listen to this official stance from the German Federal Office for Radiation Protection. From the radiation protection point of view, preference should therefore basically be given to the use of passive systems. Because passive systems emit exactly zero artificial radiation, they represent the ultimate 100% risk-free solution for screening 18 billion people year in and year out.
So the crucial point here is that this microscopic science is driving a massive macroeconomic shift. We're zooming back out to the global level now. Just look at this number, 17.3%. That is the explosive compound annual growth rate currently driving the terahertz technology market. This isn't just some niche scientific experiment anymore. It's a rapidly accelerating global industry. By 2032, this market is projected to reach an astounding $712.18 million. This massive influx of financial capital is the real engine forcing these technological leaps forward. For years, generating and detecting these waves required massive, incredibly expensive laboratory equipment, which obviously kept it out of commercial airports. But today, this incredible flood of investment is overcoming those complex engineering barriers practically overnight. And it's not just airports funding this boom either. The very same technology securing our travel is actively revolutionizing other critical fields all across the globe. Over in healthcare, terahertz imaging is being heavily adopted for non-invasive, early-stage cancer detection and dermatological analysis. In defense, it's being deployed for advanced military radar and standoff security screening. The real-world applications are just incredibly diverse and super impactful. But the fastest-growing application might actually surprise you: telecommunications. Terahertz frequencies are actually the key to unlocking the 6G networks of tomorrow. Recent prototypes in Japan have already demonstrated that terahertz wireless can support mind-blowing, ultra-high-speed data transfers up to 1.2 terabits per second. No way, right? The telecom industry's massive push for 6G is seriously accelerating the miniaturization and efficiency of the exact same sensors we'll be using for airport security. But hardware alone isn't going to cut it. The final piece of this puzzle is artificial intelligence. AI is the critical missing link that makes this operate at airport speed. As a passenger just naturally walks by, the passive scanner continuously captures the data. Almost instantly, a generative AI framework takes over to predict and reconstruct that complex channel data. It automatically flags any anomalies, like a hidden weapon or explosive, on a simple, generic matchstick figure. This brilliant integration protects passenger privacy by ensuring human operators never see any naked anatomy while completely automating the threat detection process. We have definitely covered a lot of ground today, from the macro projections of global travel all the way down to the atomic differences between X-rays and terahertz waves. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative question. How do you feel about the frictionless, transparent future of travel? The next time you breeze right through an airport checkpoint without breaking your stride, consider the invisible forces and the AI analyzing them that are silently keeping you safe. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.